quick announcement before we get started. The reel-it-ins are going to be like this from now on. Just me talking. Why is that, you may ask? It's because I'm a lazy bastard. I feel that when I'm doing the other reel-it-in format, one, it's a pain in the ass to do. It takes a lot of work, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, because things that take hard work come out well. Except I felt it wasn't coming out that great, and I also couldn't go as in-depth with movies because I was so concerned with just making all this shit. So now that it's just me talking, I can talk about movies in much greater depth and talk about why I liked them or didn't like them. And as a result, the videos will be longer. So you people get to enjoy longer reviews, because I think most people enjoy longer reviews. And they'd rather me go in depth instead of be a Jeremy Johns who just talks for 4 minutes and reads the Rotten Tomatoes summary. And then that's his review. I don't want to do that, even though that's pretty much what I'm doing now. All I need is the red background. So, Baby Driver is the new Edgar Wright film. I saw the movie in April, an early screening. It was a treat. And I'm glad I saw the movie a while ago, because it's allowed me to just take time and think about it. It lets the movie ferment. Even though I go into movies with no expectations most of the time, this is Edgar Wright. Edgar Wright is one of the top 5 filmmakers alive right now. He has made 3 of the funniest comedies ever made, and he made Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, which is easily on my top 10 movies of all time. That movie is phenomenal. If you haven't seen any of these 4 movies, I highly recommend them. So Edgar Wright was gonna make Ant-Man, but that fell through, and Ant-Man stinks. And the best parts of Ant-Man are the parts that he had something to do with. But now he has this movie, and it's about a young kid who is a getaway driver for people who do heists. The thing is, here's the gimmick. He has tinnitus.
Why is he listening to music all the time?
He had an accident when he was a kid.
So he always listens to music. I mean, the movie's kind of a musical, because everything is in sync to this music he listens to. The editing, everything that happens, the car chases, the lyrics often have something to do with what's going on in the movie. I don't know why they didn't advertise this, because it's a really cool idea, and it elevates this movie a lot, because without it, you just kind of have a standard, action heist movie. That gimmick is really good. All the music in this movie is fantastic. Every single track. And Edgar Wright doesn't just borrow from this genre or this time period or this whatever, like Guardians of the Galaxy does, where he just takes like 70s or 80s music. He takes some songs from the early 2000s, some jazz from the 70s, rock music from the 80s, 90s music. We go from bell bottoms to Queen to Tequila! That gimmick, really cool. Edgar Wright, as usual, delivers visually. The editing is breakneck, beautiful. Once you get past that, doesn't have much going for it. And I'm not saying this movie is terrible, because it absolutely isn't. I think this movie is really fun, actually, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I was never bored throughout the entire thing. But you can't help but feel that Edgar Wright had this idea for the movie, and he made it, and he failed. Even though he fleshed out that idea so much, and it's such a cool, interesting thing to do with a movie, the rest of it falls short. No aspect of this movie is bad, at all. It's just every other aspect of this movie besides that gimmick is very serviceable. The acting is fine. Ansel Elgort is decent. I don't know if they could have gotten a better actor, but, he's serviceable. He does a fine job. The action is fine. There's some really funny comedy in here. Some of it's okay. The romance is okay. And this isn't a movie where you can pinpoint what's wrong with it, because nothing is wrong with it. It's that, to me, it felt so underdeveloped. So you really could have fleshed this out more, made the story more interesting, more dynamic, more fun. The characters aren't bad, but they all have one thing going on, and they're very just one-dimensional. They are what they are. Baby is fleshed out, of course. He's fleshed out enough, but the thing is, I don't know if it was the actor or if it was the writing, but Baby he didn't stand out to me. He wasn't this, wow, I really sympathize with him, I really understand him, I really care about him. all the emotional stuff with him and the accident he had as a kid where he got tinnitus from all feels very forced. And that didn't work for me. Lily James, who plays his girlfriend, very pretty girl, but again, it's like, what does she have going on? Why would she leave with this random guy she met a few months ago? I understand it, and it works for the movie, and it's not horribly distracting, but if the movie had taken even just 5 more minutes to give her something, then I would have sympathized with her more. What are her flaws? Does she have any flaws? Does their relationship have any flaws? Not really. I mean, he ignores her one day because he's with the other criminals, but like, that's not... In Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, which that movie is basically a romantic comedy, the romance in that is great because Scott Pilgrim is a fucking douchebag, and Ramona Flowers is an absolute cunt, and Knives is a crazy bitch, but Edgar Wright is able to flesh them out enough and give them enough going on to make them somewhat likable, even though they have these major flaws. You know, they're not perfect people, but they're interesting, and they have something going on. Ramona Flowers dyes her hair every week and a half. Why? Because she's fucking nuts. Who knows?
And what do you want?
To get out of here. You win.
I'm in, baby.
Like, that's something. What does this girl have going on? You know? Edgar Wright has really always struggled with romance in movies. I mean, Scott Pilgrim obviously not, because that's based on someone else's material. The romance in Shaun of the Dead was okay. The romance in World's End was, like, totally flat. I don't even think she needed to be in the movie, to be honest. But in that movie, it's not as big a deal. In this movie, it's the crux. It's the reason this character wants to leave this world of crime. You can't just have this romance where, oh, they're both pretty, they're both young, and they're both gonna go off together in the sunset. And you're like, okay. It's not a terrible romance either. It's just serviceable, just like everything else. And no one is bad at playing their role. And it's not like these characters have terrible dialogue, because they don't. They're all funny. They're all well acted. They're all fun. I didn't have a problem with any of them, because I enjoyed watching them. Especially, what the hell's his name? John Hamm. John Hamm is very good in this. Jamie Foxx is fun. John Bernthal, even though he's in it for a short amount of time, he's great. But they're all given so little. And this isn't me asking for too much either. I know this is a comedy, basically. But I felt myself just not caring all that much about any of this. It's fun. It's colorful. The chases are fun. The music's good. But it needed something else. And having the gimmick of, oh, he listens to music and the whole movie's in sync with the music isn't enough. Maybe he thought it would be enough, but it isn't. All of his movies are very gimmicky. But they all also have something else going on. And this just didn't have that. Maybe I'm a little spoiled because I saw Guardians of the Galaxy 2 recently. Because those characters were so fleshed out. Not like an Oscar movie or anything, but I understood them all. They all had something to do. They all had flaws and strengths, and we learn a little bit about each of them. And this is something that Edgar Wright's usually very good at. Okay, now enough with this negativity. Let's fucking talk about how awesome this movie is. How many fucking awesome scenes there are in this fucking movie. No, the chases in this movie are so much fun. Really. The movie becomes more focused as it goes along. Baby becomes more likable as it goes along. The movie becomes funnier as it goes along. That's a big thing I haven't discussed so far. Baby has all these, he records his life and then remixes it. And every scene where he does that is hilarious. As much as I do like John Hamm, the funniest character out of all of them is Jamie Foxx, who plays a complete fucking nut. The action in this movie is very good. Even though it has, like, this lighthearted, family comedy feel to it, in terms of, how simplistic the characters are and how colorful everything is, it's extremely violent. This movie's full of blood, and that's really fun. But again, all these things I like are very, very basic, surface level stuff. I'm going to go see it again when it comes out, because I think it's that much fun. and I definitely recommend this to you. I'd give it a 7 out of 10 if an arbitrary number rating means anything, which, you know, I don't hold number ratings on some pedestal like they're important. But if you want to know the quality of the movie, that's it. A very enthusiastic 7 out of 10, because it was extremely entertaining. But this is Edgar Wright's worst movie. I know it also may sound like I only dislike certain aspects of this movie because it's Edgar Wright, and that's partly true, but at the same time, you know, when Edgar Wright makes something, you expect a little more, and even if Edgar Wright hadn't made this movie, I still would have been complaining about those same things. And maybe developing them would have made this movie more boring. I don't know, but I certainly would have enjoyed that. The best scenes in this movie, most of the time, are when the 5 criminals are just sitting in a room talking. Maybe it's the fact that they keep switching the people Baby does the heists with. The guy's name's Baby, in case you don't know. The first heist he does with John Barenthal, John Hamm, and the girl. And then the second heist he does with Jamie Foxx and an Asian guy and then a white guy. And you never see John Barenthal again, by the way. And then you get rid of the Asian guy and the white guy, which is fine. I mean, I understand, realistically, that you alternate between people when you do heists. But I wanted more time with each of them. So couldn't you just put all 3 of them in all the heists? I don't know. It is a weird complaint. I'm just saying, I like these people. Why are we focusing so much on Lily James? If you made her interesting, then yeah, I would have loved to focus on Lily James. Especially that sweet rack of hers. But come on, you gotta give her something. Dye her hair or fucking, I don't know. Oh, I listen to music. My name's Deborah. I listen to music.
My name's Baby. I listen to music too. You know, there's a lot of songs about Deborah.
Yeah? Well, there's a lot of songs about Baby. Let me pick a few out for you.
You know, Deborah, I love you. Do you want to run away together?
Yeah, let me just throw my whole life away and run off with you. You know, give me a fucking break. Kevin Spacey spends the whole movie in one room. He's good. You know, it's just, you know, I don't know. Could have done a little more. Could have had more scenes with him. I mean, the point of Baby is that he's kind of socially awkward, and I get that. But Scott Pilgrim is socially awkward, too. And his social awkwardness was, like, really funny and interesting. I don't know. I enjoyed Scott Pilgrim as a character, even though, as a character, he's supposed to have absolutely no charisma. And I don't even like Michael Cera, but I thought he was great as Scott Pilgrim. Going back to comparing Edgar Wright movies to this movie, God forbid I do that. Ralph, your expectations are so high. You want every movie to be a masterpiece. Alright, fine. Fuck it. Movie's good. I'd recommend it. See it in the theater. I don't know how well the movie's gonna do, honestly. Edgar Wright movies have a track record of doing very poorly. So definitely go see it in the theater. Support this movie. It's a good movie. Could have been better. Could have had a little more going on. I still found it entertaining. If you enjoy this format, me just talking into the camera, reviewing movies, then be sure to comment that you like it. And if you prefer me to go back to the other style, where I take out the paper and write, and it's like 5 minutes long, then I'll do that instead. So you guys, you talk amongst yourselves in the comments. Let me know which one you think is better. And this isn't me doing the Jeremy Johns, like, be sure to leave a comment, because I want to know what you thought of Baby Driver. I don't give a fuck what you thought of Baby Driver. That's not why I read comments. Let me know if you enjoy watching this format, because if you don't enjoy it, people will stop watching it and I'll stop making money, which is all I care about, okay? Don't leave a fucking comment about, I saw Baby Driver too, and I thought it was a 9 out of 10. I don't read your comments. I get 6,000 comments a day. I don't give a fuck what you think of it.